Hey there, Cry Friends family and responders out there. Hey, just wanted to give you guys an update on some things that are happening around Cry, some upcoming events, some things that have been going on. Laura and I, we just got back from a ministry trip over in Kona, Hawaii. We were doing some training with some young guys over there. Real fun event. We did some crisis response training, some identity and purpose training as well. Got to see our daughter Anna, and just had a wonderful time. But it's really good to be back. Been kind of quiet out there. We haven't really put out a lot of information on what's happening, what's coming up. As you guys know, we sent out this morning a recording of the memorial video that we were able to make for Chris Plack. As you guys know, Christian Plack was an amazing cry responder. Just had the memorial for him on the 22nd. Thank you for those of you who were able to make that, those of you who have sent in videos and just different testimonials. And again, prayers and thoughts to his family. I will be talking about the Cuba trip here in a moment. We're going to do a trip in memorial to Christian. And if you want to find out the details about that, that's in that memorial video. But anyway, so some upcoming events, a couple things I want to share with you guys. I want to share my heart about a few things, some exciting things that we got coming up. And I also want to talk about the unfortunate events that have unfolded with Morningstar, and that touches some of our lives, and there's been some involvement with us as well, and I just want to bring some clarity there as well. So anyway, some exciting stuff coming up, guys. So we have started a monthly Zoom call, and we did one last month. We got one coming up on September 5th. And we're going to have Danny Stein with us. And Danny has been a longtime friend. He's been a real big part of our history and really catapulting me into the initial steps of Cry. It's been a friend over the years. We've had him as a speaker. We were supposed to have him at the Seek His Face event back a few months ago, and he wasn't able to make it. But he's going to make it to the Zoom call. And very exciting, he's also going to make it to Kingdom Family Summit as well. So September 5th, there's a link in the email that went out today. You can just simply hold on to that link. And on September 5th, at the right time, I don't have it here right in front of me, but we're all going to be gathering on that Zoom call together. That's a lot of fun. It's going to be interactive. And Danny's got a real fresh word of encouragement to the body of Christ, but to Christ specifically. And we're looking forward to that. Another thing that we're going to be doing, something really new. We've been talking about doing this for a while, and we've done a few of these in the past, but now we're going to get really intentional about these. But we're going to be doing a Cry family gathering here in the Fort Mill, Charlotte region. And that's going to be something that's going to start on a regular basis. We're just going to gather together for a meal, fellowship, and we're going to have a meeting. We're going to have a time of prayer, worship, and some encouragement. And this is really the direction that we're going. And so maybe you've heard it out there, talk about ambassadors and talk about crisis response units. This is a baby step really in that direction. And so that's going to be here in Fort Mill, right here at my house, September 8th from 3 to 6 p.m. And that's for those of you in the area, Cry responders, those of you who are looking to get involved, looking for fellowship. And we can explain to you later on what those meetings are going to be like, why we're having those meetings. But if that's of interest to you, we'd love for you to join. We're going to be putting out an RSVP for that. You'll see that in an email coming out probably in the next couple of days, just so we get a head count of how many to expect and how we can set up and be prepared for that. But that's something we're going to be equipping Cry ambassadors to do in their local regions as well. And the reason for that, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with Kingdom Family Summit, but it really ties right into it, is the heart behind that is we want to grow as a family. the reason for that is Laura and I have always wanted Cry to remain a family, not a big organization. And we see this as an essential way to do this. People have said over the years, are there any other Cry responders in my area? I just love Cry, and I want to do this in my own hometown. And so ambassadors are going to be empowered and equipped to be able to do that in their own community and really kind of gather together like a home fellowship. That's really the essential components of that. I know over my walk with the Lord, those have been some of the most genuine experiences I've ever had in terms of an expression of church and fellowship and real community and real discipleship. And that's actually how Laura and I met. We met in the context of a home group and a network of home groups, and it really ruined us. We got to experience something so dynamic, and we always knew that this was going to be a part of Cry, and now's the time for that. So the Kingdom Family Summit, we're going to be equipping ambassadors and train them in order to be able to do this, and then we're also going to be rolling out this blueprint for CRUs and regional directors, and all of this is about family, community, real discipleship, real koinonia, and what that means to be a part of something, and shared values, and where people get identity and purpose and have a sense of belonging and common mission as well. But also, my heart aches to make greater impact in the earth. It kills me every time I see a crisis or a disaster and we're not able to respond, or it takes us so long to get there. And really, this is the next phase in Cry. And so Kingdom Family Summit, that's going to be October 30th through November 2nd. Again, we put out an email today about that. You can look at that. The website and registration is open. And it's going to be a time for the Cry family to just get together, have fellowship, get refreshed. Guest speaker Danny Stein as well. It's going to be really awesome. We're going to have a guest worship leader. And we're also going to be training deployment leaders. And this is something people kind of squirm about. Oh, I can't lead. And then we end up picking somebody who's never led before. They end up doing amazing out there in the field. So we're just going to be more intentional about doing some equipping for deployment leaders. And which, by the way, you guys probably don't know this. When you deployment lead out there, there isn't like one way that we do this, because there's international trips, there's domestic trips, but we try and subsidize, at least in some fashion or form, the deployment leaders' costs there on the ground to help them be there, to help them stay there. And so that might be a little incentive for those of you out there. Just get some deployment leader training, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of other things at Kingdom Family Summit. This video isn't explicitly for that. But I just want to invite you guys. This is a time for us as the Cry family to gather together and just come together. And this event, literally, it changes everything. We're going to be doing things, and our focus moving forward, this is a catalytic event to moving into ambassadorships and CRUs and what that actually looks like. And it's really a way to grow as a family. I want to invite you to that. So that's very exciting. Also, this is super exciting too. Really neat opportunity. So some of you out there may know I was a first responder at 9/11, and then the 9/11 museum and memorial gave me the opportunity to do a screening of a 30-minute film that they have. It's kind of like an interactive film that they have made for a private screen. Well, not a private screening, but a screening here in the Fort Mill, Charlotte area. And so I'm going to be doing that 7 p.m. On 9/11. Again, we're going to have a registration link go out for that. And for those of you who are interested in remembering 9/11, we're going to have a couple first responders there and share some stories, have some Q&A after, and possibly some refreshments afterwards. We'll see how we're still learning how this all works, but we just found out like yesterday. And so incredibly honored to be able to do this, and it really speaks to my heart about reaching into my local community, reaching first responders, finding out ways to serve them, and some things really bursting in my heart in ways to also provide chaplaincy, training, and then also ways to fitness programs as well, and then maybe provide opportunities for them to become cry responders. That's been in my heart for a long time, and I'm beginning to see this manifest. Super exciting. So November 11th, screening here in Fort Mill for the new 9/11 30-minute documentary. So that brings me next again. So I mentioned Chris Plack's memorial. Just crazy story with this. We were talking about going back to Cuba. I learned that Chris was going into hospice, and I said, we should do this in memorial to him. The dates that we were given by our contacts on the ground weren't working. They came back to us, gave us new dates, and that those dates turned out to be Chris Plack's birthday. And I said, God, you're obviously breathing and speaking on this. And I know many of you out there have expressed interest on this. So hopefully this week we'll have the registration link open for this. This isn't a deployment. This is really going to be a ministry trip. And we're going to go and minister in several different churches, may do a conference. And we're just going to go serve the people of Cuba. We're going to do some food distribution and things along those lines. But incredible opportunity. We'll see what the Lord brings up in that in terms of what the trip is actually going to look like. But November 20th through 26th, there's going to be limited space. Many of you out there are interested. And so I wanted to just throw that out there to you guys. Also, just heads up, hey, we're in hurricane season. It's been quiet. Personally, I am aching to continue to go back to Myro. I am trying to collect information from that. I'll just be honest with you guys. We are shorthanded right now. We need help. We do need help. We need help with our training department. We need help with our deployment department. We're looking for volunteers who can volunteer remotely. Also, those of you who might be here in the Fort Mill area that want to give some time to a worthy organization that's making an impact in people's lives when they need it most. It takes people to do that. And so I just want to put that word out there. You can send us an email, info@criout.com. And then lastly, before I touch on this next subject, I just want to put it out there. Historically, this time of the year, for whatever reason, people are busy with family, vacations, traveling, holidays, whatever it is. Donations are really, really slow. And we have a huge need right now, guys. It's just been quiet in terms of events and deployments. And this is a season where we're really just fasting, asking the Lord to provide. We need resources right now. So I just want to put it out there in front of you. If the Lord puts it on your heart, if you want to become a monthly partner, or if you want to sow a generous gift into Cry, we definitely need it. So I can't express that enough, and how grateful we are for our monthly partners and for those of you who have sown into us over the years. Guys, this is good ground. This is really good soil. So, all right, lastly, I had said that I would talk about the Morningstar issue. So I'm not going to get into the depths of this right now. I just want to just bring some quick clarity to this. Maybe we make a longer video on this later. I don't even know if that's necessary. However, I want to bring it up because some of you know that we've had some interaction with Morningstar here. Laura and I, we moved to the Fort Mill area about 4 years ago plus. I used to come down here for conferences for Morningstar. Some of you probably have been blessed by them over the years. We didn't move here for Morningstar. We moved here because we felt like the Lord led us here, and my girls wanted to be closer to a bigger city. We needed to be closer to the Cry base. And anyway, make a long story short, about a year and a half ago, I don't know the timeline really, but a good friend of mine, Justin Perry, reached out to me, and I was actually inviting him to come be part of a training event at the Cry base, and he asked me, he said, hey, would you ever be interested in helping us out with our Special Forces program? And my heart for like frontline stuff and, equipping people like, kind of like spec ops, it's so in my heart right now. It's why I want to reach out to first responders. It's why I'm, still dreaming up of, ways to train, people for more intense environments, and our deployments are getting more and more intense. So that was kind of at the beginning of that season. I had already been thinking about this thing. So when the opportunity came up, I'm like, I don't know how I could, help out with a special forces program, training young people. That's another thing that's really on my heart. I just prayed, and I felt like the Lord said, do it. Never joined staff over there. I just did it in my, not really in my spare time. It just made my work week a lot longer. It was an incredible experience. Got to pour into the lives of young people, and, crazy workout program. And we did, a 24-hour selection process. All of that is lots of fun, and I want to do tons of that in the future. And we're dreaming up of a school in the spring for young people, kind of along those lines. It's just something I feel like the Lord's called me to do in addition to what we're already doing. Anyway, I kind of just, was like, Justin, I have no idea how I could do this. I want to do this type of stuff, and we're doing some of it already. Anyway, the Lord told me to say yes, and I agreed. I did it for about 9 months, and at the end of that 9 months, I was just already questioning what my involvement should be moving forward, and with that program. And I just felt like the Lord was showing me some things that were possible. He had been involved there for quite some time, and anyway, he came to work for Cry, and he became our operations director. And Justin Perry, amazing guy. I've had the opportunity to spend the last year with him. Countless hours of prayer, countless ways we've seen the Lord move and act. This guy is a man of prayer, character, and integrity. And I think that's the thing that I love about him most, but then also his sensitivity to the Lord. And he has been nothing but a blessing to Cry. He was named in an article the other day with this kind of mess that's unfolding up at Morningstar. Had nothing to do with any of those things. Justin, unfortunately, was involved, but really had little say and had little choices to make in that situation. Anyway, he's with us. He's amazing. Just want to vouch for him and just clarify anything out there for our Cry responder family. It's unfortunate what we've seen over the last year plus with some of these bigger ministries that have been a blessing to the body of Christ in one way or another, and have touched our lives. And, it really has caused some shaking across the body of Christ. It's many places where there's been moral failure, integrity issues, character issues, but really this issue of just sexual nonsense. And the IHOP thing really rattled me. We lived out in Kansas City. That really impacted my life, and I know many of you have been impacted, and it's just so disheartening to see these moral failures, these scandals play out. And I just think, isn't the gospel enough? We have so much to do. I think about the world of crisis in Matthew 24 and wars and rumors of wars and famines and earthquakes, and Matthew 28, the fulfillment of the Great Commission. Can't we just focus on that? And it's terrible because it just discredits so many ministries, and it causes so much doubt and fear, and it's just a terrible thing. And anyway, I just want to say, we Cry, we don't have any scandals, we don't have any skeletons in our closet or things that we're hiding. Guys, this is good ground. We need people, we need resources, we need people to put their hand to the plow. My prayer to the Lord is, Lord, would you just make us more effective? Can we just touch more people? God, could you send us the right people? Can we just flourish at the Cry base? Can we just have thriving schools? Lord, I just want to be more effective in this type of stuff, and that we're just trying to follow the Lord in what we're doing, and, just be obedient. And when it touches our lives or it impacts us or kind of implicates us in some way, it's terrible and terribly unhelpful. And, my short time up there at Morningstar, I just had a sense from the Lord at the end of that time that it was time to back away and break away. And it's a terrible and unfortunate thing that's happening from people who should be protecting people. So I'm looking for protectors. I'm looking for responders, people who rise up in the midst of crisis. There's lots more I could say about all of this, but that'll be for another time. So anyway, I want to end on a good note. That's a terrible note. So Zoom call. Hope you join us. Cry Family Gathering. This is just a move towards us gathering as families, having real relationship, and just real discipleship, worship, prayer, an awesome meal. I love that expression of Christianity. Right here, September 8th, 3 to 6 p.m. The 9/11 screening. There'll be an RSVP going out for that. I think that this is going to be a real way that we can begin to move towards ministering to first responders, that community, and also a template for what Cry responders can be doing in their own community, impacting their own first responder community. I'm really excited about that. I want more first responders involved with Cry, but I also want to serve and I want to minister to them. KFS, Kingdom Family Summit. This isn't a family seminar or anything like that. This is the Cry family gathering together. Danny Stein will be there, guest worship leader as well. And you guys are going to get equipped as ambassadors and get equipped as deployment leaders, and for those of you who qualify, get you on track to become CRU leaders, and then the Cuba trip November 20th through the 26th. And God bless you guys. Love you. We're praying for you, Cry responders, and love to hear from you guys. So we'll see you soon. God bless.